Ever get that feeling? Like when you're listening to a song you've known forever,
Hmm.
and you're like, okay, I know the artist, maybe even the producer. But then you realize there's this whole other world of talent behind the scenes, shaping the sound, making it what it is.
It's really true. And today we're diving deep into the career of one of those hidden figures, someone who's been a part of so much music, music that I bet a lot of us, and probably you listening right now, grew up with.
Totally. It's Ronnie King
Yeah.
and his story. It's kind of mind-blowing when you start connecting the dots. It's not like he found his lane and stuck to it. This guy's a musical chameleon, going from like pop hits to the rawness of punk to that classic hip-hop sound, and somehow it all works.
You think about the music scene in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it's just huge names everywhere you look.
Yeah, Mariah Carey owning the R&B charts, right?
Right. And then Tyrese comes along, adding his own flavor to the mix.
And you can't forget the impact of Tupac and Snoop Dogg just changing the game in hip-hop.
Absolutely. And then just when you think you've got Ronnie King pegged, there he is with the Offspring, bringing that punk energy.
And Pepper, bringing those reggae rock vibes.
Don't forget rancid, pure punk anthems, and even Steel Pulse, keeping that roots reggae alive. And Ronnie King. He's there through it all, kind of a secret weapon, shaping the sound of these artists.
It's wild. So for this deep dive, we've got a ton of great stuff. We've got articles that really dig into his journey, professional profiles that lay out all the different hats he's worn, and even testimonials from other musicians who've worked with him. You know, those firsthand accounts are gold.
Yeah, they give you a whole different perspective.
For sure. So today's mission is pretty simple. We're unpacking Ronnie King. All those pivotal moments, those achievements, the things that make him who he is. We want to find those hidden connections and really understand how he shaped the music that we all love.
Yeah, I'm excited to jump in. Where should we start?
Well, how about we go back to the beginning, where it all began to really take off?
Okay, so we're talking around January 1990, when he founded the Ronnie King Music Group. And what's crazy is he's still the president, leading the charge even after all these years.
That's impressive. To have that kind of staying power in the music industry, it's not easy. It says a lot about his vision, his ability to adapt and stay relevant.
Definitely. Now, fast forward just a few years, mid-90s, 1995 to 2000, he was working as a keyboardist and arranger for two of the biggest names in hip-hop, Death Row Records and Interscope Records.
I mean, those labels were a cultural phenomenon, weren't they?
Yeah, he was right in the thick of it. Think about the artists on those labels. Dr. Dre, Snoop, Tupac. Their music defined a whole generation. And Ronnie's right there with them, his keyboards and arrangements, part of that signature sound.
It's amazing. And here's something I find really fascinating. At the same time, he's also a recording artist with Epitaph Records.
Okay, now that's a different world altogether.
Right. Epitaph, that's like the heart of punk and pop punk.
Yeah.
We're talking Rancid with Tim Armstrong at the helm, Blink-182, Green Day. These are huge names defining a whole different genre.
You know what this tells me? This tells me Ronnie King's not just a musician, he's a musical force. That can go from the energy of punk to the groove of hip-hop, and it all works. He's got this deep understanding of music, no matter the genre.
Absolutely.
Right.
And even before all of this, he's working with pioneers like Coolio and Warren G. It's like from the very beginning, he was destined to be this sought-after, versatile talent.
And all that hard work and talent, it didn't go unnoticed. He won Producer of the Year twice at the Coachella Valley Music Awards in 2015 and 2016, representing the Ronnie King Music Group.
Yeah, that's huge. To be recognized by your peers like that, it's a real honor. And it's not just local recognition. We're talking multi-platinum and diamond certifications. You know, hitting diamond, selling over 10 million units, that's a whole other level of success.
Oh, yeah. Plus, we can't forget about the Oscar and Grammy nominations. It's clear this is someone who's not just playing around, he's operating at the top of his game.
Absolutely. And it's not just about producing. He's a talented composer and arranger. You know, arranging, especially in hip-hop and R&B, it's about creating those vocal harmonies, layering those samples, building a rich soundscape.
And in punk, it's about stripping it down, getting to that raw energy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's clear he understands music from every angle.
Yeah.
From the initial idea to that final mix, he's got it covered.
Okay, now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about some of the specific artists and tracks he's worked on. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's start with his keyboard work.
Yeah, that seems to be a recurring theme.
Right. For Tupac, he played keyboards on both Still I Rise and Until the End of Time. Those were massive posthumous releases that just solidified Tupac's legacy. And Ronnie's keyboard work, especially on Still I Rise, It added this unexpected melodic depth to some of the tracks.
Right, it's like you can hear those R&B influences sneaking in, creating something really unique.
Yeah, it's amazing. Then there's Snoop Dogg's Paid That Cost to Be Ball, where Ronnie laid down that smooth Hammond organ. That album's got this soulful, almost nostalgic feel, and the Hammond organ is definitely a big part of that.
Oh yeah, you can hear that classic sound anchoring the tracks. It's so distinctive.
And then, switching gears completely, we have Mariah Carey's Rainbow with Ronnie on the Moog synthesizer. The Moog, it's got this unique sound, kind of otherworldly. It probably contributed to some of those atmospheric, experimental moments on the album.
It shows you how diverse his skills are. Pop, R&B, hip-hop, he can do it all.
Absolutely. And now, for everyone who grew up in the 90s and 2000s, this next one's a big one. The Offspring. He played keyboards on Splinter and Days Go By, even toured with them in 2003, adding another layer to their live shows.
And here's a little fun fact just to show you how much impact he had. To have that huge Offspring hit, he came up with that catchy popcorn-type keyboard riff.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It's so recognizable. Apparently, it was so crucial to the song's success that Jerry Heller, his manager at the time, fought to get him royalties specifically for that riff.
Wow, that's incredible. You don't hear that very often, an arranger getting royalties for a specific riff. It shows you how much value he brought to the table, and it speaks volumes about Jerry Heller's understanding of his talent.
Totally. And it wasn't just the big stadium bands. He also played live keyboards for Rancid during their 1998 tour, bringing his talent to that raw punk energy.
You know, I always think of Rancid as a band that just explodes on stage, and to think of him being a part of that, adding his own touch to their sound, it's pretty cool.
It is. And he even contributed some additional guitar work to NOFX's The War on Terrorism.
Wait, guitar, not keyboards.
Yeah, guitar. NOFX, they've got that very specific sound, kind of rough around the edges.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to think of him collaborating with them in that way.
It makes you wonder, what couldn't he do?
Right. And for the Pennywise fans out there, he even played some freestyle piano on a hidden track on their album Full Circle.
These little hidden gems, they're always the best.
I know, right? It just shows you how diverse his contributions were. He wasn't afraid to experiment, to lend his talents in different ways.
Okay, back to the mainstream for a second. He played keyboards on Tyrese's I Wanna Go There, which was a massive hit. And then there's Pepper. He did some keyboard work on their album In With the Old. So we've got R&B, we've got alternative, we've got reggae rock. It's all connected.
Don't forget the Distillers. He played piano on their self-titled debut album. They've got that raw punk sound fronted by Brody Dalle. And to think of him adding a touch of piano to that mix, it's pretty unexpected.
It really is. It's like his fingerprints are all over the music scene, even in places you wouldn't expect. You might not always know it's him, but his ideas, his musicality, it's there.
It's like he's this secret ingredient, making the music we love even better. And it's not just about being a musician and producer. He also co-founded Blue Label Records with Sean Cuevas.
Oh, wow. So he's got that entrepreneurial spirit, too. It's not just about creating the music. It's about building something bigger, getting it out there.
Exactly. Okay, now let's talk about something really inspiring, his philanthropic work, his dedication to mentoring young musicians. It's amazing to see how his success has fueled this desire to give back.
Yeah, it's really heartwarming.
So he's got this ranch in California, Chateau Relaxo, and it's become this amazing sanctuary.
I've heard of this place.
It's incredible.
Right.
A big part of their mission is working with people recovering from addiction, from Windward Way recovery.
That's amazing. How does that work?
Well, he uses music as part of their healing process. They get to record in his studio, which is a great creative outlet. And it's not just about the music. He connects them with nature, even gets them involved in tribal ceremonies with the Torres Martinez Desert Cahuilla Indians.
Wow, so it's a holistic approach, healing the mind, body, and spirit. That's really powerful.
It is. And he's also passionate about helping young musicians who have the talent, but maybe not the resources or connections to make their dreams happen.
That's so important. He's seen firsthand how music can change lives, and he's making sure others have that same opportunity.
Exactly. And it's not just local. His work extends to Costa Rica through an organization called Turismo Consentido, which helps children in need. He's even building a similar ranch project there, the Black Stallion Eco Park and Estates in Tamarindo, with recording facilities. It's like he's taking that same vision and expanding it globally.
You know, there's this quote from Ronnie King that really sums it up for me. It starts from the music. Whatever the music is where the charity follows.
I love that. It's like the music is the driving force and everything else, all that good work, it flows from that passion.
Okay, so we've talked about his career, his philanthropy, but what do other musicians think of him? We found some amazing testimonials. They're really
Oh,
insightful.
yeah, they give you a real sense of who he is.
Like Grigos Matthews, he called Ronnie the single most inspiring musician he met. He talked about how Ronnie guided him with gentleness, but also with that necessary firmness.
It's that balance, isn't it?
Right. And he said that Ronnie rekindled this sense of musical wonder in him, which is just beautiful. When you hear that kind of praise from another musician, it means something.
Absolutely. And Turner Mojica, he talked about how Ronnie has this ability to connect with the heart and soul of an artist, helping them find their voice and project it. He called him a co-conspirator and friend, which shows you it's more than just a working relationship, it's a genuine connection.
And Kuchechin, he was just blown away by Ronnie's talent. He called him a super producer, praised his vision and instincts, and said working with him was a true gift.
He even said he was constantly learning from Ronnie and considered him one of the best performers and musicians he'd ever met. These aren't just casual compliments, they're coming from a place of deep respect.
Definitely. It's clear he's well respected in the industry, and he's still deeply involved. Since 2015, he's been a partner and music supervisor at ASGE King Music, which offers a full range of services for artists. Development, production, promotion, the whole package.
It's like he's built this whole ecosystem to support artists at every stage of their career.
And if you look at the Ronnie King Group, it's incredible how diverse their services are. From performances to production, composition, artist development, content creation, show production, hosting, networking, and of course, all that amazing philanthropic work.
And podcasting. Don't forget podcasting. He's even doing film and TV scoring. It's like he's got his hand in every aspect of the music world.
Truly a renaissance man of music. Now, before we wrap up, there's one more connection I want to touch on. It's a bit controversial, but important to discuss. His relationship with Jerry Heller, NWA's manager.
Yeah, that's a story that's been told and retold, especially in that movie Straight Outta Compton, which painted a very specific picture of Heller.
Right, but Ronnie King offers a different perspective. He says that, in his experience, Heller was nothing like the weak, manipulative character portrayed in the film. He said he was strong and as gangster as the guys in the band.
It's interesting, isn't it, to hear that firsthand account that challenges the popular narrative?
Definitely. And Ronnie also provides some important context about the music business back then, the late 80s and early 90s. He explains how labels like Death Row would often support their artists financially, like an advance system, covering their living expenses and other needs.
It was a different time, for sure.
And something really noteworthy is how Ronnie talks about Heller's progressive approach to compensating arrangers. He specifically mentioned that keyboard riff in The Offspring's hit that, saying Heller fought hard to make sure Ronnie got royalties for that contribution, which wasn't always common practice back then.
Yeah, it challenges that image of Heller as someone who was only out for himself. It shows a different side of the story.
Exactly. Okay, now let's shift gears one last time and talk about his connection to Costa Rica. It all started around 2000 through his relationship with Alex Urbaniak.
Costa Rica quickly became more than just a vacation spot for him. He was drawn to the beaches, the weather, the fact that it was relatively close to the U.S., and the political stability. He saw it as a tropical annex for his music, a place where he could create and collaborate.
And it wasn't just about him doing his own thing. He got involved with the local music scene, recording with Costa Rican artists like Charlie Lopez from Albacast and Joe Auerbach, a fantastic jazz saxophonist.
It's cool to see how he embraced that community, became a part of it, helped it grow.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Ronnie King's life and career, what are some key takeaways? What really stands out?
For me, it's his staying power, his ability to adapt. The music industry is constantly changing, but he's managed to stay relevant, to thrive across different genres, to work with different generations of artists.
And the impact he's had on so many iconic recordings, it's undeniable. He's shaped the sound of music that's touched millions of people, many of whom might not even know his name.
And beyond his own success, his dedication to helping others, mentoring young musicians, his philanthropic work, it's really inspiring.
Yeah, it all comes back to that quote, "It starts from the music." That's his core. It's what drives him, what motivates him to create, to collaborate, to give back.
He's truly been a shadow man of musical magic, working behind the scenes, but having this huge impact on the music we love.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about all the people behind the music we listen to, the ones we never hear about but who are just as important as the artists themselves.
And it makes you appreciate those liner notes, those production credits. It's like a whole other world opens up when you start digging deeper. So next time you're listening to your favorite album, take a moment to think about all those unseen hands that helped create it. You might be surprised by what you find.
Absolutely. There are so many stories waiting to be discovered.
That's the beauty of music, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a constant journey of exploration.
I couldn't agree more.